All right, so this is the card view that we decided to do. Obviously, we are noobs, but we thought it would be a fun idea to review some of the Grand Tournament cards. And I'm joined by Nick,
What's up, guys? How's it going?
and I'm also joined by Pierce. You may know him from my other videos.
I want to go to bed.
All right, so we got Tournament Attendee, a 1-mana 2/1 taunt.
It's
Accent Ford already.
it's fine. I mean, stat wise, it's pretty much on par with all the other one drops besides like Zombie Chow and like a few other ones. But I mean, we have Voodoo Doctor, which is 2/1. We have Worgen, Young Priestess, South Sea Leper. I mean, it like pretty decent stats. I mean, it just
But here's
fills
the
in
thing.
a 1-mana 2/1 taunt. It just fills in like a gap.
But it's like the fact that its ability is because when you see a taunt, you usually expect it to tank something for you. But with 1 mana, not
Yeah.
really a lot to tank. Although,
They're gonna block that Stone Tusk
all right,
core.
I hope you guys are ready. This is what I like to call Nick's bad corner. You could play it in quote unquote taunt warrior, which is something they're trying to enforce.
Yeah.
Which
Obviously,
isn't.
we'll get to like those taunt cards later, but like with the whole taunt warrior thing, obviously that could be a thing because like all those warrior cards that give your stuff taunt, and even all the other neutrals or whatever that also give that are taunt, like the dragons and all that. It's not bad. I mean, turn one play this. I mean, it also kind of dies to like coin hero power from like mage or rogue, but
I
you
still
know,
think that's I think that's fine then. I mean,
yeah,
if you're thinking about that instance, hero powering coin is actually pretty bad, so it's all
yeah,
right at that point.
not bad.
It's okay.
It's a solid card.
It exists because it has to. Oh,
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
we got a low. Oh god, we got lowly squire. The, this one's actually pretty decent. Like
It's just
it's
it's like
it's decent.
it's good. This is all what I think about Aspire. It's only good if you're doing bad, and then even at that, it's not that good.
What?
It's at most. I
y-
mean, ideally, it'd probably be a 2/2, and that's if you use your hero power on turn two, which
Yeah.
is that means something really bad's going on with the
Hmm.
deck or something.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when you play this turn one at 1/2, it's not great stats. I mean, sometimes they're gonna be mostly passing turn one anyways, unless they have like zombie chow or something, and then this just kind of gets screwed because the next turn. It also depends on what class you're playing, because if you do play this up against, like, say they do have a zombie chow opening, I mean, you can trade if you're like a mage or a rogue or something, but
And
it's
even
it's too
then,
situational.
yeah, and even if you're saying, oh, maybe I'll play it in like, say, a rush deck, and it's like Face Hunter or something like that, it wouldn't work out that well
Yeah.
because your whole point is to play as many big attack minions as possible.
Hmm.
So, well, not big attack, but like rush down your opponent as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And this is just too weak of a card to
Hmm.
use. So I would, you know,
Yeah.
if you have to, it's
Yeah, we haven't gone over the arena for the other one, but yeah, it's not bad. Do you have anything to say, Pierce?
Oh, what are we on?
The lowly squire.
It'll be good for certain classes, not good for other lines. I mean, 2/2 is good stats, still not better than Zombie Chow, but I mean, it depends on what class. I mean, Priest probably won't see it played, just because turn two you're not typically hero powering, whereas things like Warlock and Mage or whatever might. But yeah,
I
as long
still
as
don't think it will be played at all,
no, I mean Zombie Chow will still be played
Yeah.
over that.
and even in rush decks now. So it's an okay. It's
All right.
It's not
It's
bad. It's not super great.
it's there to
Yeah.
demonstrate the effect, if anything,
Yeah.
of what Inspire does.
Next card we got a 1-mana 2 for rare injured Valdir.
Yep. Battle Cry, deal 3 damage to this minion. I will personally put this in my first input on this card. It's pretty especially for what class it's intended for, which is definitely Priest.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But even at that, you're basically saying At 1 mana, you get a 2/1. If they don't deal with that, you're supposed to waste a circle on this with a Northshire. I'd say, eh,
Well, and
it's not.
plus, like, if you do play this on turn one and it dies, like the next turn, then if you have Resurrect in your hand, it's really good
I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah.
because
I
you
say
get
in
a
that
two
deck.
four.
Well, even in that kind of priest, I say it's kind of because like you're expecting with resurrect priest, you're expecting a bigger kind of value out of your minion. A 2/4
Yeah,
isn't really.
like
I mean,
that's why
it's
they have the injured Blade Master,
but that's like a 4/7, which
which is
for 2 mana,
insane.
that's broken.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much what you guys said. I mean, if you really wanted to, turn one, coin this guy, and Lowly Squire, turn two, Priest Hero Power this guy. The value. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's a 2/1, whereas all the other 2/1s give you something like Taunt, Restore to Health, like I mentioned with Tournament Attendee. I mean, this guy is just, I don't know. I don't think he'll
Nope.
say any. If I don't, he won't see any play.
You'll see no play, in my opinion. No. In arena, this card isn't even that good at all. Even
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, even if you get
There's
it in
way
pre,
better one drops.
there's way better rares.
And the fact that it's a rare, it's
Yeah.
It's. I'm sorry, you're pretty injured. They wrecked you before you got out.
next card, 1 mana, 1/2, Garrison Jouster, Battle
Okay.
Cry.
This is
Reveal
this
a
is
minion each deck if yours costs more, gain 1/1.
this is the best one drop that they added because, I mean, if you do get the Joust, then it's on par with Zombie Chow, but without the restore 5 health to the enemy.
All right,
Which,
but
just let me finish here, Nick.
I'll let you continue.
Like, the problem with Zombie Chow is if you don't get it early, then that 5 health can kind of set you back. But with this, if you're already playing high cost minions, then like there's not as much of a drawback to it. I mean, if you draw into it, sure it sucks. It's a 1/2, maybe a 2/3, but at least you're not giving them back 5 health. So I mean, I don't know. I think it has the potential to compete with Zombie Chow, but yeah.
Personally, I don't think so. I mean, when you think about it, Zombie Chow is used as a control mechanic, and Gadgetzin Jouster reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, gain +1/+1. I mean, if you're playing a 1 mana creature for the 2/3 just to go face, at that point you wouldn't be playing a lot of high cost minions. And then Gadgetzin Jouster isn't really that good because most of the time, then at that point, it'd just be like a 1/2, which
And
no one
then,
would.
and then plus it's like a Gadgetzin, like the whole joust mechanic. It has a chance to obviously fail, and you're just
Yeah.
gonna end up with the 1/2, which is like the other ones we've just reviewed. Like, I mean, if it does win, then yeah, a 2/3 is really good for 1 mana, i.e. Zombie Chow. But like, it needs to win the joust to get like the good stats.
And ideally, you would want it on turn one, which is when most of your deck is still filled up. But at that point, its own reason for existing is kind of hurting its existence because it's a 1 mana creature that's trying to win a joust, which kind of wrecks it.
But
And then
I mean, I'm sure decks might show up like Joust decks where they have high cost offsetted, but I mean, I think out of all the one drops, this is probably the best, and it probably has the most potential to be used. I mean, we'll have to see what people come up with, but I think there's potential for it.
It's
out of the
respectable.
out of the neutrals, I think Lowly Squire is the most decent one, but I'll give it to you. In
All right.
arena,
We'll
this
see.
card this card isn't that good either. It's
It's
pretty
because
bad.
it's just up to the whole joust mechanic. Like in
Yeah.
arena,
Yeah.
you're like
Yeah.
most of your minions are going to be on the 2, 3, 4, 5 curve
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you need that like early game and mid game, and obviously you need late game. But there's obviously going to be a lot more 2, 3, and like 4 cost minions. So the joust mechanic will often kind of fail with this card in arena. Next we got Lancebearer, 2 mana, 1/2, battle cry, give a friendly minion to attack.
Okay, can I start with this one?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so obviously you want to compare this to abusive. because I mean, both of them give them 2 attack, but
Or
unlike
Dark
abusive,
Iron Dwarf.
or yeah, but Dark Iron's 4 mana. I was thinking more around the cost, but I mean, abusive 1 mana 2/1 +2 attack that turn. Where this is 2 mana 1/2, get 2 attack permanently. So like the only difference is the attack and health is switched around, which the health gives it more survivability than abusive, which can get pinged off or killed by hounds or whatever. But and this is like a 2 permanent attack, so it's 1 mana increase for the same stats plus permanent health. So I mean, I think it's pretty good. The only problem is that there's not really. I mean, it depends on what you're giving the health to, because I mean, if you play it turn 2 on curve, then you only have a 1-drop out. But I mean, 4/3 zombie chow.
Like we keep coming back to the whole zombie chow thing, but like,
because zombie chow's a broken card.
Well, zombie chow is just it's the strongest 1-drop. I mean, I don't think anything else really competes with zombie chow, except for Gadgetzon's Jouster. But no, but I mean, it's the staple 1-drop. I mean, most decks run it, except for like Leper Gnome. But
well, anyway, another card that can compare to zombie chow is like Flame Imp, technically, because instead of giving opponent health, you take damage for a 3/2, but that's more for an aggressive strategy.
Well, and it's class specific.
Yeah, but with Lansbear, I think it's a good card. I think it's not like something you like play like instantly or something, but there's definitely a deck where it suits its needs. Like, let's say you're playing Zoo and you drop turn 1 a Voidwalker. That's kind of weak for a turn 1, but then you instantly drop like Lansbear on it. You have a 3/3 on the board, which is pretty strong for a turn. But the only problem with it is that Lansbear is a 1/2, and then after the thing that kind of dies, it exists to live as a 1/2, which is really bad. Which is fair, because if you give it, technically adding +2 attack makes it a 3/2. But yeah, it's a fair card. I'd say it's a fair card.
It's obviously a pretty decent card. I think it'll see like a decent to fair amount of play. I just think it's obviously it's kind of outclassed by like, and maybe not necessarily like abusive, but like other 2-drops that can provide more to your board or whatever. And the fact that it's a 1/2 kind of makes it a little weak. Maybe if it was a 2/2, it'd be kind of better, or would be better, but
Well, I mean, if you compare it to, go ahead.
I was gonna say it'll probably see a fair amount of play.
Yeah, but I mean, if you compare it to like the basic 2-drops Crocolisk or Puddle Stomper, I mean, Raptor, they're 3/2 or 2/3, so you're lacking in stats, but it does give you reach though. So if you hold on to this and play it later on, I mean, it's a cheap 2 mana, give +2 attack. I mean, it gives you reach. You can get some higher cards.
Oh baby, let's go Shield Bearer. 2/4. Arena, it's an okay card too.
Yeah.
Is that just Arena? It's gonna be good, bad, okay?
Yeah, no, because like when you think about it, it's basically abusive. You don't really have face decks in, say, Arena, but like
I mean, in Arena you pretty much just want base stats, and
it's basically abusive Sergeant in just Arena.
We have Garrison Commander, where it's a 2 mana 2/3 epic, and you can use your hero power twice on your turn.
Definitely a card to show what basically allow people to activate their inspires more. I'll say it's a decent card, but its effect is sort of lacking. I mean, I understand its existence. I just mean, it's okay.
Like,
Go ahead.
It's if you don't want to play this on turn 2 because you can't use your hero power twice on turn 3. So obviously it's better if you play it later in the game, like maybe like turn 5 or 6. Because then if you combo this with some of the mage cards that reduce your hero power's cost, which we can get to later, but you obviously wouldn't, if you're going for the effect, you don't want to use this specifically on turn 2, because it'll most likely die the next turn anyways, and you won't get to use your hero power twice at all, like the following turns. So, and plus the fact that it's an epic. Well, I mean, no, never mind on that. That I
But I
was
mean,
talking about arena for that
but
epic.
at that point, it's not that bad because then it's technically it's decent stats, but then its
Hmm.
effect is usable. So
Yeah.
it's a okay card.
Yeah, I mean, stats are on par with everything else. It's weird that it's 2 mana because um, typically turn 3, I mean, if you're hero powering, like you guys said, you can only use it once, but it's also just inefficient on mana, and I mean, I don't know. It'll be. I think it might be used for something. I mean, like, of course, getting those extra
Inspire.
like silver hand recruits out or whatever, and yeah, inspiring. But I mean, we might see a combo with this. What is it, Maiden of the Lake, and then that Drake thing, and then you end up getting. Well, no, I mean, not the Drake. The Drake's a mage card, right?
Koldar
Yes.
Drake.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But I mean, a 1 mana 2 damage for that you can use twice a turn. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
In arena, it's a decent epic. It's a 2-drop with an extra bonus, so you can't really complain at that
I
point.
mean, if you're comparing it to Hungry Crab, you're fine.
I think if
If
you
you're
compare
comparing
anything,
anything, yeah. All right.
unless you're running Murloc Rush somehow.
Next card we have Flame Juggler, 2 mana, 2/3, battle cry, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. It's pretty good. It's 2 mana, 2/3, which obviously is pretty good for a 2-drop because it seems like 3/2s are getting like, well, maybe it's the other way around. 3/2s are generally better than 2/3s, but like if it was, I don't know, the battle cry is neat, but it only does it once, so maybe Knife Juggler is it is better. I don't know. I can't really think of anything else to say about
Oh,
it.
I mean, if you want to look at it practically, Flame Juggler kind of seems like an answer to say some of the aggro deck or rush or aggro decks out there,
Right.
where it's technically instead of getting like if you're playing like an aggro deck, but you still kind of want to go for face, but you don't want to have to like lose things. I say Flame Juggler is an okay choice over say the Knife Juggler, but Knife Juggler is going to be more practical most of the time, while
Hmm.
Flame Juggler is more of a just you kind of need it now, so you kind of just do it now, but then it doesn't do anything as a result
Yeah.
afterwards.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing about this is that there's a lot of 1 drops that have 1 health. Like, I was talking about how 2/1 is average stats, or 1/2 or 2/1. And I mean, the problem with playing Knife Juggler on turn 2, and I'm just in certain situations, is like, let's say they have a Leper Gnome or a Cog Master that could trade up into it. Um, if you just played Knife Juggler, it could get traded into. But whereas if you played this, it could potentially clear the board and give you control of it.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's not bad. I mean, but I do feel like it's situational depending on what deck you're playing against.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
In arena, it's decent. 2 mana,
It's
2/3, deal 1 damage.
it's a
It's
fair card.
it's fair.
I,
Yeah.
Honestly, I would be willing to say it's a little bit above average because
Hmm.
it technically is. It's a 2/3 with a bonus effect.
Yeah.
So cool.
Next we got Bone Guard, Lieutenant, 2 mana, 3/2, inspire, gain 1 health.
Um,
It's
it's kind of weird. It's kind of like you're trying to turn an aggressive minion later into like say a trade minion.
hmm
Because with 3 attack, I kind of see it more going for face, but then it kind of what I see is like you use like you say you play this and then you for some reason on turn 3 need a hero power. You get a 3/3, so then you can now it can either live to rush even more or say control the board depending on what the situation is. But
hmm
I think it's because it's only gaining one stat, which is health. So later, even if for some reason you hero powered a ton this game and it somehow lived, it's just a giant health minion, which means at that point it really doesn't really do much for you in the late game. Even say mid game per se, like it might control little minions, but that's pretty much it. I don't really like its inspire mechanic and what it's trying to do. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be doing much for the
I
entire thing.
I don't like Inspire on 2 mana because if you're playing it on curve, it's not good. I mean, if you do it turn 3, that's mana inefficient. It just gives 1 more health. Lots of 1-drops can trade up into this before you can even get the Inspire off.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if they're trading a 2/1 for a 3/2 in your like second turn, then I mean, like imagine that you play something with 1 health. They play Flame Juggler, and then you play Bone Guard Lieutenant. I mean, at that point, he just got took out your turn 1 and turn 2 plays with just his turn 2.
Yeah.
Wow, what a sack! You got the Flame Juggler onto the 2/1.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't like the Inspire on, or even just anything that involves your hero power at 2 mana, because if you play it on curve, it's not going to work out. I mean,
Yeah.
In Arena, it's a decent card.
yeah, it's decent overall stats.
Hmm. I mean, and then if you can get the whole hero power thing off of it, then I mean, it turns into a 2/3/3, which isn't bad.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next we have Argent Watchman, 2 mana, 2/4, can't attack, inspire, can attack as normal this turn. This one's interesting.
I don't like it.
It's
Same, I would agree
interesting,
with
but
Pearson.
I don't like it. It's an interesting effect. It kind of shows how they were trying to bring up inspire and stuff, but it's just not a good card.
No, not at all.
I would like it more if it had +1 attack. If it had +1 more attack, I'd be okay. This card's fine then.
Yeah.
Because like
Well-
a 3/4, that's fine because then you could trade up with most things in say the 3 mana, but with a 2 attack, it's not really doing much for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, it's not very good at all.
Yeah, we don't really have much to say about this card. In Arena, it's complete garbage.
Yeah. It's not that great. A lot of better 2-drops than this.
Oh yeah, and it's a rare. Oh, that's so.
Next we have Silverhand Regent, 3 mana, 3/3, inspire, summon a 1/1 Silverhand Recruit.
Ready for boobies.
Okay, this is a pretty good card.
I'd say so too.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you. Oh, go ahead, Pierce.
3/3 is decent stats. I mean, if you compare it to Razorpin Hunter, I mean, it's a complete upgrade. Power creep. But yeah, I mean, and the Paladin synergy is good. I mean, I don't know if you'd really want to play this over, Muster for battle.
Hmm.
I mean, both give you 4 damage, but I mean, this gives you 2 bodies. One's a 3/3, so the 3/3 has more survivability, but it won't
Yeah.
really work with the Quartermaster combo. So I mean, yeah, it depends, but it's good. I mean, it's not bad. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think to really get the value off of this card, you need to use your hero power a few times to even get it to where it's where it's actually valuable. But I actually think the 3 mana 3/3 is a good solid card, and if you can get your hero power off a few times, then it turns into a pretty decent, pretty good card.
Honestly, I could seeing this card. I could honestly say I would put this in Chocodin or Rush Paladin
Hmm.
because I think their 3 mana pool is kind of strange. So I say Silverhand again is pretty good for there because they have a lot of low cost anyway. So they usually hero power a lot.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'd say it's a good card. It's a good card.
Another thing to add, I totally missed that it was actually Inspire. I thought it was just Battle Cry summon 1/1. But yeah, no, even though with the Inspire, it's still pretty good because, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the 2 mana don't really have 3 attack. So I mean, it requires some outside assistance, or maybe they're 1-drop that didn't die. But I mean, things really can't trade up into it unless it's a 3/2, which then your 1-drop can take out, which means more than likely then drop a 2-drop to take care of yours or whatever. But no, I mean, and if you can keep it alive, you can get some Silverhand Recruits out of it. It's pretty good.
Hmm. In Arena, I think it's kind of outshined by other 3-drops that normally click, Jungle Panther, things like that.
Spider Tank.
I would against the Jungle Panther. I would honestly kind of argue whether or not I would pick over that because I kind of like the Silverhand Regent because it's kind of more it builds value over the time.
Yeah.
While Jungle Panther is more of a one-time trade, but it's probably a better trade.
No, but I mean, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, similar to the one drops, 3/3 with an effect. I mean, Iron for Grizzly, Murloc War Leader, MC Tech, uh, Raging Morgan. I mean, these are all things that are 3/3s, and I mean, yeah, it just kind of fits in.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty
Okay.
decent card. Next we have 3 mana Silent Knight, 3 mana 2/2 Stealth Divine Shield.
I don't like these kind of cards. I don't like cards that they reduce the stats and they make it so that they usually have to have two things. Usually it turns out to be kind of bad, kind of like with Silent Knight here, because like, okay, so your ideal situation, you have a Stealth Divine Shield. You trade once, it loses its stealth, and mostly its Divine Shield.
Hmm.
So then what's the point of having both on the same creature? Like, I mean, there's some that work, but this one is really just, uh,
It's our
like it.
first creature with Stealth and Divine Shield, though, so I mean, it's gotta be interesting, and then it turns out it's just 2/2.
But it's like it doesn't work because like think about it, kind of like Divine Shield and Stealth are kind of like one and the same. Where but Stealth is like you can't attack it. Well, Divine Shield is you can, but you know there's a there's like a
Hmm.
backfire to it. So I just don't think this card's good at all. No.
I mean, yeah, you guys said a lot of it. Stealth Divine Shield. I mean, the whole thought process behind this is that you play it, you trade, then they have to trade with you or play a spell to get rid of it. So you're getting kind of 2 for 1.
But
Hmm.
But I mean, it's just low stats. I mean,
It's too
I don't.
slow.
I'm not seeing it like being able to kill anything. I mean, it doesn't like. Next turn is they play a 4-drop, and I don't know how Silent Knight's supposed to compete with that.
Hmm.
in Arena, it's garbage too.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
that good. All right.